Welcome to our reading on Web 3.0 Tokenization and Decentralized Finance. This reading looks at a number of the underlying components associated with transforming the financial services industry into one that is decentralized, meaning it doesn't have a central entity like intermediaries that carry out or control a lot of the functions. It provides a peer-to-peer network. So again, removing that intermediary and the notion of using crypto currencies and tokenized assets, digital representation of different assets, and all of these different characteristics associated with decentralized finance and a disintermediated financial services framework. So it provides sort of an aerial view. It doesn't go into a huge amount of detail. It really just sort of provides sort of a more cursory discussion of all of these components. All right, so as we're aware, in the traditional financial services industry, there are intermediaries that that basically support the traditional systems. They manage them, and investors, etc., and allocators have to go through these intermediaries. So they're sort of human-centric, what's sort of referred to as the hub and spoke type framework. And these are dominated by, governmental agencies, corporations, and also obviously fiat currencies being the currencies in use. And so we can think of the financial services industry as sort of the traditional industry, which is here we're just sort of classifying as the 1.0 version, which is where we have the intermediaries, the brokerage firms, etc., that manage a lot of the services, exchanges, investment banks, etc. And then one step up in terms of, closer to sort of more automation and disintermediation of the framework is the financial services 2.0, which is basically fintech online platforms that automate some of these services, so online trading platforms, etc. And then the third one is essentially the decentralized finance. So in the second one, we still have intermediaries, but in the third one, we remove the intermediaries. You are working in a blockchain framework with smart contracts that automatically, based on certain conditions being met, implement certain tasks. And so these are the structures essentially that provide those services. And since it's disintermediated, it's now a peer-to-peer framework. So that's kind of the transition of financial services. Now, with respect to the sort of what they're classifying here, sort of the new digital economy, here we're looking again for this notion of disintermediation, a decentralization, and to that end, there's a number of core concepts in which all of those, or both of those sort of core components rely. The first one is what they were calling Web 3.0. So this is, and we'll go into each of these in more detail through the paper, but this is sort of just an introduction to what we expect, underlies the new digital economy. So Web 3.0, this is the third generation of the World Wide Web, and it's based on distributed ledger technology. Blockchain is an example of that. So the protocols are open, they're decentralized, they're interconnected, and again, as we mentioned, they're providing peer-to-peer automated services by implementation via smart contracts.